Hey, everybody, good morning and happy Tuesday. It's me, Dr. G, with Smiles at Sea, and I'm here today with a new friend, but an old relationship for Smiles at Sea and the Dental Festival. I have with me today Dan McNeff, the founder and CEO of Legally Mine. Now, I have a little bit of information to share about Legally Mine, but I'm going to let you hear it from the horse's mouth this morning, okay? No pun intended. Now, Dan, you are the founder and CEO of Legally Mine. I'd love for you to tell everybody a little bit about yourself and just a little bit about the company.
Well, I started my career out as a journalist. Um, Discovered I wasn't going to make enough money as a journalist to support the family I had. Went back to school, became a CFP, and delved into the world of financial planning. Did that for 20 years. Retired from it, and started another business that's completely separate from anything to do with financial services. Did that for 15 years, and then actually, I guess closer to 10 years. Then moved back, uh, went to work for a gentleman by the name of Jay Mitten, who was doing asset protection. And I worked in their specialty division, which basically reached out to medical professionals. Jay's program was a kit, a self-help kit. And to be honest with you, very few people ever used it. And I kind of soured on it and told Jay, I really think that what we need to do is hire attorneys, bring them on board, and get the work done for our clients rather than expecting them to do it themselves. Well, Jay said, if you're so smart, why don't you just buy the company? So I did. Um,
Oh, wow.
the good news is that I got all the software, which is really important, and access to the asset protection language in the entities. And but we did bring attorneys on board, and we do the work for the clients. And frankly, it's just exploded. So I did that in 2007. Since then, we've been running it, and now we have 21,000 clients.
Wow.
All of them are either dentists or physicians. And so we're the largest asset protection company in the world. Uh,
Wow.
but we do specifically work with physicians and dentists.
Well, the thing I love so much about that story, for starters, is just from idea to implementation to delivery, and then to what you said, an explosion. And being the largest asset protection delivery company in the world is a really big accomplishment. And I know that doctors and dentists, we think a lot about our assets. We want to go out on the boat on the weekend. We love our new BMW. We love our houses and the things that we acquire through the blood, sweat, and tears that we invest in our practices every day. But so many times it's the age old story that you lose something that you value so much because you didn't protect it appropriately. And so that's why I am a client of Legally Mine. And there's, like I said, other little tidbits I can share. But, you know, what would you say makes you, aside from being the largest, different in the space? What sets you apart in the market?
Well, the first thing that sets us apart is, in fact, the language and the entities that we have. The language is really, really important when it comes to protecting your assets. If I were to go to a state website or LegalZoom or any of these other companies, I'm going to get standard entities that, quite frankly, have been created by the Trial Attorneys Association and specifically set up so that they can come after you and your assets and everything else that you may have because of the way that they worded things. So the verbiage in the entities is important. Know-how is also important. And cutting the costs of making the asset protection is important. So it depends upon what state you're in, but every state has its own specific laws, and we have to be aware of all those laws, follow the laws exactly to make it work. What works in Iowa may not work in California. And so you have to have the specific knowledge of how to make it work everywhere you go. And then for example, in California, entities cost $800 a month. Well, if you had 10 entities, do you want to pay $800 a year? But would you want to pay $8,000 a year just to renew the entities to protect your assets? And so we have workarounds. We know how to make it the least expensive it can possibly be. And we try to also keep our rates at a level that is very, very affordable. We do it this way because we believe that protecting your assets is the single most important thing we do. However, we combine that with tax savings. And so what we do is we have attorneys on board who have tax accreditation. They're also CPAs. And to be honest with you, know about as much about tax deductions for business people, probably more so than anybody else in the country. The bottom line is we can save people enough money on the taxes that it more than pays for our program. And actually, we kind of turn it into an extra paycheck for every one of our clients.
So an extra paycheck, guys. Who doesn't want an extra paycheck? I do. I do
Yeah.
want an extra paycheck. So I think that works for me in particular, but I know without a shadow of a doubt, it'll work for everybody else. And, you know, Dave, we're so excited to have you on the Utopia of the Seas sailing, April 25th through the 28th. You guys, this is your unique opportunity to meet the founder and the CEO, the person who brought this program, the largest program, to life, and to pick his brain and get in there and spend some time with him and let him determine how he can help you protect those assets. Last question I'll ask you is there something special that you have to offer the attendees for this sailing, Dave? Since this is, this is a big day for us. You're coming, the owner and the CEO and the founder coming. That's a big day. What's going on for the attendees this time?
Well, the special things we can offer are pretty deep discounts for those people who join on the cruise. We also offer a tax savings guarantee that says if we can't pay for the program with the tax savings generated, we'll refund the difference. So in reality, we promise it won't cost you anything. In fact, chances are pretty good that if you have a practice, we're going to put 10-figure dollars in your pocket right away, especially now during tax season. We've got methods of showing you how to overwhelmingly take taxes out of the picture for a couple of years.
Well, I have to get off this video right now because I'm gonna call you. You and me, we're gonna have a conversation. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't need a conversation because I already work with Legally Mind. Everything that I have is insulated and protected and ready to be passed off to those I love and care about the most in the event of an emergency or a tragedy. So just know that Elijah and I both work with Legally Mind. We trust them implicitly, and we believe that you should too. So, Dave, I'm super excited to see you and spend some time with you on the cruise. And I know you're going to be speaking. So, we're ready to sit there and have the moment to listen and take away all of those strategies that you're going to share. Because guess what, guys? Even if you don't sign with Dave, but I suggest you do, he's going to share so many things from the stage that you need to write down and then take those things home and interview the people you're working with. Are they utilizing all of the information that they have to protect you and insulate you at the best opportunity? So, Dave, thanks so much for being our guest today. We're so excited to see you again on the cruise. And ladies and gents, Smiles at Sea, it's me, Dr. G, signing off. See you next time.